I'm Jim O'Neill, and I'm running for re-election to Walpole Select Board. I get asked a lot about the middle school project. It's probably the single biggest issue in this cycle. The project involves consolidating the Byrd and Johnson middle schools into a single facility within the current Byrd site. And it's a project that's been underway for many years. We've had a number of people working on the project, and most recently a special board that has been appointed. That board looked at 13 different options and concluded that the combined middle school at the current Byrd site was the best option. Our statement of interest that we applied to the state with calls out dozens and dozens of building deficiencies. And I suggest that anybody who's interested go read that. It's on the school board website. It's everything from the size of the classrooms to the technology, to the media, to the cafetorium, which is a completely inadequate combination of a cafeteria and auditorium, particularly if we think about a combined middle school, and all the way through the HVAC and all of the internal systems. And it's not just a matter of upgrading a few things. All of these systems would cost tens of millions of dollars to upgrade. The boiler goes all the way back to when the building was first built. Renovation has been explored. It will cost much more to renovate the existing buildings, because remember, there are two of them. And it's really hard to renovate existing structures that were built 60 years ago for very different purposes. This is particularly true when we look at things like the American Disabilities Act and what it means in order to bring the buildings up to code with respect to ADA. In order for us to become compliant with all current zoning, all current laws, rules, and regs, we would have to upgrade the entirety of the buildings. It means touching every square foot of the building. This is a highly expensive proposition. One of the advantages of a combined middle school is that we gain a lot of efficiencies. It's less expensive to operate one building instead of two. So there will be operational cost saves, which is unusual. Normally we're thinking about operational increases when we expand the size of a building. In this case, we're actually consolidating one into two, which should take the costs down. In addition, it'll allow us to bring better programming and more consistent programming to the students that go to the schools. There won't be one set of criteria for one school and one for another, because the facilities, both being inadequate, but each has its own aspects of ability to support this program versus that program. By bringing everyone together in a combined middle school, we'll be able to have the exact same programming for the entirety of the school population. We also have a great opportunity. Being accepted into the state's school building assistance program affords us the opportunity to offset the cost by approximately $35 million. This is a big deal when you think about the cost of a new combined middle school. In order for us to access this, we will have to, as a community, come together to vote for an override to the tax base that allows us to build the new middle school. The current thought is that the funding that would go with this would be essentially a 30-year mortgage. So the borrowing would last for 30 years. If we miss this opportunity, it will likely be another 8 to 10 years before we'll be back, accepted again, and back through the process to where we are today. So taking advantage of this opportunity is crucial. The stakes are high. 3 things as I conclude. 1, education is a fundamental obligation. Our children are our future, and we need to make sure that we provide proper education. Number 2, the need is there. As I said in my comment a moment ago, go check out the statement of interest. It's clear that these buildings are unsatisfactory when it comes to the standards that are employed today. And finally, the opportunity. $35 million coming to our town from the state to offset the cost of building this new building. And while that won't offset the whole of it, it gets us a long way there.